Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the ultimate driving simulator. And we've got some different things that we can do right now. We're in kind of a weird spot again. So there's things that we can do, things that we should do, and then there's ultimately the thing that we're going to do. And so I'm going to run them down before we get down to business. So in the rally section, we've got, as you have seen over the last couple episodes, we're all caught up in these super wet specials here, which sounds hilariously sexual and totally unplanned. And what I was going to do with this is I was going to go pick up the Stage 3 Turbo Kit, so that it would give us an advantage there. And somebody in the comments section, I can't remember their name right off the top of my head, but they had mentioned that instead of getting that Turbo Kit, really what I should get instead is a pair of racing tires that will really help with traction on that wet surface, and that would probably give me what I would need in order to win that race. And so that's really cool. I'm glad that I now know that information. Thank you to whoever that was, by the way. I can't remember your name, and I'm sorry for that. I'm really poor with remembering things sometimes. Even though I'm probably also going to get that turbo kit too, because I'll need it for later, so, you know, whatever. So that's one thing. In the Beginner League, as you guys may know, as I've covered it many a time, there is still the Stars and Stripe Cup. We probably don't have enough money to do the Legend of the Silver Arrow yet, because as we all know, Mercedes are expensive as fuck, and I don't have enough money for that. The Beetle Cup, I also probably don't have enough money for that either, because the model that I want to do this challenge with is also too expensive. And so that leaves us with this, the Gran Turismo World Championship. And this is what we're going to do, because off camera, I just decided to jump into it real quick so I could see what we would be up against when we decided to tackle it. And as it sits right now, we can totally do this race, because they're all rally cars. And with our current setup, we can absolutely win all of those. And all these races, like, we're not doing like any test course stuff, so we should, power-wise, be able to handle every single one of these. And I think that it's going to be great, because it's 10 races. We get paid very handsomely for it, by the way, so that's 100 grand if we win all of them. We'll probably get some type of extra compensation for winning first place in the challenge, and then we get a prize car on top of it, which is probably a really nice car, so we'll be swimming in the dough. And then after that, we could probably do, you know, like an endurance race, and we'll be balling out of control with money for the rest of forever. So I say we jump right into this, and while it's loading, I have to tell you, I have an absolutely monumental announcement to make on this video tonight that has nothing to do with this channel at all. What the hell is that? A Sea West Razzo Silvia? That sounds like a gangster car if I've ever heard of one. It's weird because that was not there the last time that I looked inside of this thing. When I checked into this off camera, the car that was in there, it was an Impreza rally car, and so that's weird. Oh boy, I really hope that's not a car that's like super pimped out that we don't have a chance in hell against it. Oh, it's right there. It's that white one. Oh boy. All right, let's check this out. I have to know. I have to know what's going on. So, my friends, let me make this announcement right here. I have full clearance to do it on this episode. I was talking with a very special someone, and she gave me the green light for it, which is another reason why I love her dearly. I, Adam Foster, am no longer just a man in a standard committed relationship, even though those are awesome, because I, Adam Foster, am now an engaged man, and I'm going to be getting married. Oh my god, is that not like the greatest thing in the world? I am like so beyond excited that I still can't contain how insanely happy I am. Like, I found the most wonderful woman in the world that is fully willing to spend the rest of her life with this crazy son of a bitch. And it's super fantastic, man. Like, we've been together already for a couple of years, and we've known each other for like 15 years already. And so, you know, we have a very long history together. And you know, after you know, a long time of being together, it was actually just our 2-year anniversary. Just about a week and a half ago, we decided that, you know what, the time is right. We love each other both more than anything else in the world, and that we wanted to make it official. And so we went right ahead and we made it public knowledge. I actually wanted to do this on an update video later on so that I could have her here with me. But, you know, we live currently we live about 60 miles apart, and so we don't have that opportunity of being able to be with each other at any given moment. And so she especially couldn't wait any longer. She's like, you know what? She's like, I'm gonna give you full clearance tonight that you can talk about it in your episode tonight, and we'll figure out another way to talk about it some more on your channel later. Which is another reason why I love her, man. She's totally on board with all this stuff. She loves it. For those of you that have been here long enough, she has actually been on a couple of episodes with me, and we've had a blast. She'll definitely be in more of them in the future, and it's just super great, man. I can't even explain to you guys how wildly happy I am for this entire thing. It is just the coolest thing in the world, and I now get to experience the wide world of wedding planning. Oh yeah, I have absolutely no fucking clue of what I'm doing with that, but you know what? That's half the fun. It's nerve-wracking, it's stressful, but all in all, in the end, it's great, and so it's gonna be a wonderful thing, man. For the longest time in my life, I never thought that I would ever get married. I really legitimately thought that for quite a while, and she took that mindset and totally threw it out the window, and now I cannot wait for it. We don't have a set date just yet, but it's probably going to be somewhere roughly around like a year and a half from now. So in about a year and a half's time, there will be a Mrs. Michaela Foster in my life, and it's gonna be just the best thing there is. And oh, damn, there's that Sylvia, dude. That Sylvia is super tight looking, man. You know what it reminds me of, actually? It reminds me from the days of our Gran Turismo 2 Let's Play, when I was driving that Dyson Sylvia for probably roughly about 50% of the damn thing. Like, we drove that thing virtually in just about every competition that we could enter it into, and it was such a great car. So I actually really hope that I can get my hands on that one, because if it's anywhere near as good as its counterpart from Gran Turismo 2, it'll be one of the best cars that we'll own in the game. So here's to hoping, man. But yeah, dude, I'm totally a soon-to-be married man. It is absolutely just like blowing my mind every time I think about it. But every time I do, I like smile a mile wide, which is almost physically impossible unless you have literally the largest mouth ever made. Because you can have a mouth made. Actually, you can have a mouth made with surgery. So that's a thing. So, yeah, dude, I'm going to try to not, like, gush on it too much more, because I know you guys are probably like, alright, enough with the engaged stuff already. But, really quick, and she wanted me to talk about this because it's fucking hilarious. You know one reason that I know that she's the right one? We had this conversation yesterday, and I almost pissed my pants from laughing because it was so damn funny. But, so, as we've been talking, as newly engaged couples do, we started bringing up the idea of children, and this was all on her. Like, this came directly from her, and she said, this woman says, she says, when we have our first couple of children together, when they get old enough, we are legitimately going to tell them, until they, find out somehow, some way that it's totally bullshit. We are going to tell them that they were conceived in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese. And we're gonna roll with that as long as possible. And I was like, why would we tell them that? She's like, because it's funny, that's why. She's like, we're gonna tell them they were conceived in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese, and they had to shut the entire place down because the employees couldn't handle the frightening stress of the situation. And I was at work when she was telling me this on the phone, and I seriously just about drove a customer out of the store because I was just like laughing. I was laughing just like beyond comprehension. It was so funny. I was like, you would actually willingly tell our children that they were conceived in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese of all places? And she's like, hell yeah, I would. It's gonna be funny. And so, I mean, not like I needed any extra proof that she was the right one. I was like, God, I love you. You are the greatest person in the world for concocting up a cockamamie theory like that is also the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my entire life. So that's that's what that is right there. Oh boy, that is simply lemonade and everything involved. So yeah, dude, I'll one of these days when we get the opportunity, I will bring her on, and you know, we'll talk about some more details with you guys, because as you know, I love sharing all the things that go on in my life with you guys. I feel like we've made a very special bond over the years, and you know, since I love making announcements about various things in here, this is the largest announcement I've ever made in my entire life about anything, and so I was really excited to tell you guys about it. So now that we have talked about that, let me get into another thing really quick. This is just something that's been I've made kind of an observation over the last probably year or so, and my dad kind of caught onto this too. This is going to be like a health related thing, a purely work related thing, but kind of a strange thing, really. So this is going to be like kind of, sort of, but not really, an impromptu installation of Adam's Health Tips, where you learn shit whether you like it or not. Ping! Even though I'm not technically telling you anything specifically about products, but so one thing that my dad and I have noticed over the last couple of years, as far as like vitamin supplements or just like natural supplements in general, is, you know, it's weird because, you know, natural medicine is like the complete and total, you know, anti-pharmaceutical division of the world. Like, it's you have pharmaceutical medicine over here. I'm pointing to the left, by the way, for those of you that can't see me. And then you have natural medicine over here on the right. And, you know, they do not coincide really at all. They just don't. They're not part of... They do not have coexist bumper stickers on the back of their cars of their life. And one thing that we have noticed is that there's a lot of natural supplements that are starting to name their products in the same way that pharmaceutical supplements name their stuff. Like, they sound like medicine now. It's weird. It's actually kind of unsettling, really. Like, for example, I'm sure that you guys have probably seen a couple of these things before, because some of them are advertised all over the place. Like, there's a natural supplement it's like a memory supplement that comes from a protein from jellyfish. It's called Prevagen. And that thing is advertised on TV all the time. Like, I see commercials for it virtually like once every couple of days here. And so that's one. And that one has a very kind of like pharmaceutically, you know, find it at your pharmacy type of name. And then let's see, there's also another product that you guys have probably seen at pharmacies a million times before called Zicam, which is a nasal spray. Like, that also has a very, you know, pharmaceutically kind of name. This race is kind of getting out of hand a little bit here. This has not been a very clean start to this at all. This is not good. Luckily, we are faster than the competition, which is always a good thing, but it has not been a very clean start to this race in any way, shape, or form, and that is not really what I was looking for. However, that turn was fantastic, for the most part at least. Still left a little bit to be desired, but at least it gave us enough of what we needed. But yeah, Zicam, definitely, it was a nasal spray that you can find in pharmacies pretty much everywhere now, that used to be sold exclusively in health food stores. And so that's another one that also kind of has a little bit of a name like that. And then, you know, there's also a couple other products, like there's one called Procera AVH, which sounds about as much like a medication as you can get your hands on. There is also another product called Protandim. There's Azo, which is for like bladder infections. That's another one that, you know, pretty much sounds just like that. Oh God! Oh boy, this is getting... Oh no! Oh God! Oh no, dude, that ruined the whole thing. That absolutely ruined the entire rest of the race. We are definitely gonna have to go back and redo this one later, after this championship series circuit is over. I accidentally looked down for just like a half a second to see the last thing on that list that I had written down, and totally, as God damn it, I cannot turn this car sometimes. It's so stupid. Yeah, so frustrating. Like, had I not made that one mistake, we would have easily won this race. And that's how frustrating that is. Had I not made that one single solitary mistake, I would have won this race. And instead, we're gonna probably come in like 4th. Because I can't turn this fucking car. God. Like, why do I have to have special racing tires on this thing just to execute a simple turn? It doesn't make any sense. It is like it struggles so much just to get around a turn that seems like other cars do just fine without having to have the same thing. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. At least give me like 3rd or something. Second can also be nice. It can also be nice. Oh, ugh, that was ugly as shit. I mean, it shouldn't have been. I should have won the damn thing, but I made a mistake. It was dumb, very dumb. Oh well. I mean, we're still gonna win this thing. You know, we've got the lead. It's fine. Just not the way that I would have wanted to end that thing, because now it's an extra race to do. But what are you gonna do? Okay, but yeah, dude, they all sound weird. There's another one called Sinupret too, and like all of those, they sound. It sounds like like it used to be. There were no products like that ever sounded like anything that you would find that a doctor would prescribe to you. It was just always, you know, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, you know, bone strength, bone up, you know, all those types of things. It wasn't like, oh, come in here and buy some Procera AVH or some Sinupret or, you know, this, and this. It sounds too doctory. But, what are you going to do? Alright guys, well I think we're going to stop right here. When we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, hopefully the other races won't be as ugly as hell like that had turned into. That was just totally inexcusable. So, we will make sure that we do better for the ensuing races because we cannot afford to have another bad finish like that. So, you guys, I will see you next time. This is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later for another one. Bye, guys.